update on the coronavirus from the legal world, including your employee rights. I know there are a lot of hot button questions that you guys have about how your employment is affected, what rights you have as employees during a time like this. I want to get to answering some of those questions. Before I do that, I want to get into some of the developments of the law that's happening right now, action Congress is taking to help assist and provide some benefit to many Americans and families that have been affected by this crisis. As we all know, cities and states have responded. States have declared a state of emergency. Cities have responded. City of San Francisco is quarantined. Many other cities have ordered the closure of restaurants, bars, gyms, other large public gatherings. Congress is working on doing their part too. People up in Washington are working on a new bill. The framework goes like this. It provides additional paid sick leave to all employees. It provides for emergency paid leave, additional emergency paid leave. That means if you are caring for an ill family member, you have to stay home with your child who is home from school. It provides for that. It increases funding for unemployment. If you have lost your job or your hours have been reduced due to this crisis, there is additional funding for unemployment that you could get. It provides free testing, free coronavirus testing, covered by all health insurance, whether it's private health insurance, Medi-Cal, Medicare, that includes emergency room visits. It also provides additional funding for food assistance programs such as food stamps, which is a great thing. If you are somebody that has never looked at the option of food assistance programs like food stamps, they are increasing funding for that and making it more readily available for people. That is the framework of what Congress is working on to help those families and those Americans most affected by this crisis. Now I want to get into some of the questions that you guys have, some of those hot button questions that may be relating to you. Question 1, what can I do about school closures and my child staying home from school? In California, if your employer has 25 or more employees, they are required to give you 40 hours per year for school-related emergencies. That's 40 hours per year, time off work. It could be paid or unpaid. That's up to the employer's discretion. However, they cannot discriminate you or terminate you or for taking that time off, school-related emergencies. So if that applies to you, you do have that benefit. Question number 2, am I allowed to work from home? Can I request to work from home? The simple answer is no. There is no requirement that says employers are required to allow employees to work from home. However, there is a caveat to that. The employer must provide a safe workplace environment. So if you do not feel safe, and it's got to be a legitimate safety concern, it can't just be in your head. If you have a legitimate safety concern in the workplace about an illness or anything else, then you can raise that concern to the employer and they have a duty to respond to it. So if that is the case, and it could very well be reasonable during this coronavirus time, it is something that could be raised to your employer. Question 3, sick days. In California, employers are required to give minimum 3 days of sick days. Some cities within California give more, but just because you've exhausted the paid sick days doesn't mean that you can't call in sick. If you're feeling sick or ill, you could call in sick. You don't have to come into work. Everybody gets sick, and your employer cannot terminate you or retaliate against you for doing that. Now, your employer can ask for a doctor's note. That is allowed, but generally, if you're feeling sick or ill, just because you've exhausted your paid sick days doesn't mean that you can't call in sick again. Employers don't want people coming into work if they're feeling sick. That's a legitimate excuse. I hope I've answered some of those hot button questions that you guys had. I hope it was helpful. As usual, if you have any other questions, concerns, call, text, DM us, or put it in the comments. We will get to it. Stay safe out there.